Hi there, Dr. Matthew Korn, 65 Plus Center for Active Aging here with your weekly rounds video cast. It's Friday, May 22nd, 2020, and I'm broadcasting from you here at 65 Plus. I'm in my exam room. I have my kids in the background as they're off from school during this COVID-19 crisis. So I am giving them some free entertainment here at the office while I do some work. We've had a very, very good response to our phase one reopening. We're actually been booked for 2 weeks solid now, and we have just put the finishing touches on our what our phase two reopening will look like. I will not go too far into it today, but keep on lookout for our weekly newsletter and a link on our website to learn more about it. But essentially, we're going to be restarting in June. Um, Tentative start date is June 8th for group fitness exercises in our medical exercise program, as well as all full services opening up and allowing a few more people into the building with some restrictions based off of their diagnosis or age. But we're going to keep you safe. We have some good mitigation strategies in place, and we'll be sharing more about that with you later. Um, One and really encouraging thing that we've heard from some physicians I work closely with is that we're not seeing a whole lot of uh, people that are ill coming into the physician's offices. Again, that doesn't mean people aren't getting sick, doesn't mean people aren't being admitted to the hospital, but in terms of flu-like symptoms, influenza-type symptoms, and other um, illnesses that can put you at higher risk for contraction of COVID 19, that's always a good sign. And we're also starting to see some elective surgeries come back into play here. So, post operative rehabilitative needs are going to be able to be met. I've already had a few people come in who've had some knee procedures done on an outpatient basis. And I also had a few patients who have had total joint replacements put on hold during the COVID 19 crisis that are now scheduled. So we're looking forward to helping them recuperate as fast as possible. Um, Beyond that, you know, we're looking forward to having other things in our community come back to life. I think everyone's been paying attention to the news and seeing that certain parts of Florida are moving more briskly toward a phase two reopening. Um, and we're starting to see more everyday life activities starting to be more accessible, including inside dining with certain distances, nail salons, hair salons, tanning salons, the things that require a little bit more close contact with people. Looking at the headlines here, um, I'm trying to keep it positive, but I guess there's a drive-through testing site coming to Venice starting on May 21st, which was yesterday. I'll try and click on a link here and tell you where that is. It looks like if my computer will load, it's at the Venice Community Center. So you can go there, and I don't think you need an appointment, and you can get tested. I might do the same myself um, and try and get tested. Uh, you know, every couple of weeks or maybe weekly if they'll allow me to keep my patients safe. Um, let's see what else I'm reading here. Looks like the Venice Pier and Dog Beach and South Jetty will reopen. Actually, it's already open. It was open last week. So if you like those places, you can go. Um, and switching over here to the Herald Tribune. Um, it looks like there is continued downtrend on cases, although that is throughout the county and not necessarily specifically in our area. Um, Short-term vacation rentals can now open by Memorial Day weekend, which is this weekend. So for people looking to get out of town and are somewhat local, um, uh, I guess you can do a vacation rental, which a lot of people do. I like North Captiva Island. I don't know if you've ever been there, but that's a great place to rent a place for the weekend or a week if you can. Um, and it looks like Florida's Legoland if you have kids or grandkids and you like taking a Legoland, that's going to open up in June, as well as most of the theme parks. So, it looks like we're getting some relative normalcy here. I know my kids swim, and the city pools in Sarasota are opening up on May 29th. You do have to reserve a lane, and this is quite interesting. Essentially, if you're going to a public pool, what you do is you register with the city or the county online, and then you reserve your lane. So, the biggest argument in swimming is it's hard to share lanes sometimes, um, and sometimes you have to wait in the hotter parts of the summer and in the season. Well, now guess what? You can go online, reserve your lane, swim for 1 hour, and get out and go home. And it seems like a decent deal. Although I guess it could get crowded, and maybe at some point in time you might have a hard time getting a lane at all. But I think if you reserve your lane in advance and you're consistent, I don't know if there's any penalties regarding not showing up, if they charge you or you lose your spot or you lose all your reservations. So you might want to check in with that. In terms of private and community pools, I have not heard much about the Venice YMCA. As you know, the LA Fitness closed earlier this year, so that's not an option. And in terms of community pools, my community pool where I live is opening this weekend, but there's still a lot of restrictions in place. I think it's 25 patrons at a time, limit 2 hours, 6 feet apart. So it could make things a little bit more difficult in smaller community pools, but hopefully we'll all find a way to share and share alike. So that is good. Again, more normalcy coming our way. So again, what I want to reiterate to, we're moving quickly toward a phase two reopening, which is going to be more of a having more than one person in the building at a time, but still keeping our distancing and strict disinfecting mitigation policies, and obviously screening people for illness and keeping people that are a little bit more frail and fragile out of the clinic in general. So look for the in our newsletter, look for it online, and we're excited to get everyone back uh, to the extent we can and still keep them safe. So Dr. Matthew Korn here, 65 Plus Center for Active Aging, with your weekly rounds video cast. This happens every Friday, and at the end of every month, we will do a more extensive uh, 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 video cast and newsletter, and that will happen next week because next week is still part of May. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Dr. Matthew Korn, 65 Plus Center for Active Aging. Take care.